Hello and welcome back to my page. My name is Elise and I am an art intuitive. On this page, I share all things spirituality meets science and mental health, shamanism, as well as the power of creativity. And today I want to talk about how it all starts with you, how our beliefs, our values, the things that we think about are being reflected to us. I want to share a story about the shift that has happened in my life when it comes to the masculine energy and how this is playing out in real time by sharing a story of me being pulled over last night by the police. Midday yesterday, I had this feeling and I wrote it out. I was like, the masculine energy is here to be supportive and I'm not looking to be saved. I had this maiden archetype in my story for some time. The maiden is somebody looking for others to validate their experience, not showing up for themselves, people pleasing. These types of energies come from the maiden archetype. And to step into the mother archetype, there's a balance between the masculine and feminine energy from within. I've been really stepping into this energetic frequency and how to navigate my masculine and feminine energy in this way. And so yesterday I was writing down something and I just said, I don't want to be saved. I want to be supported. And the masculine energy is here to support me. That is the belief that I am moving forward with. And it was something that I knew for some time, but I knew for sure as I was writing it out, this is a truth for me. I was leaving my workspace and I was on my way home and a cop got behind me and I thought I was going the speed limit, but I was a little bit nervous and the cop pulled me over. And as he pulled me over onto the side of the road, I was looking for my ID and I did not have it in my car. And so he asked to take my phone and to pull over onto a side road. And so I said, okay. And he comes to the window and he's, I pulled you over because your driver's license is expired and your plates are expired and you're now driving without a license. I called my mom after this experience and I said, I did not know that license expired because I had never been in a place long enough for my license to expire. I'd move somewhere new or I would lose my license or whatever and I would get a different license. The gypsy energy in me, the adventurous energy in me, I was always constantly moving. It really did not ever occur to me that this was something that happened. When it comes to my car registration, I put it on a list of things to do in September, and September was this chaotic time for me, and so it made the end of the list. This human being just went back to their vehicle. They came back and they were so kind to me. I have so much gratitude. I played out in my mind this story of, if they give me a ticket, then I won't be able to have the finances to fix my car. And then I thought, whatever's happening right now is perfect. I should have known these things. I didn't. And so I'm just here to take responsibility for that. And so this being was like, I am going to give you a warning. In that moment, I felt this, oh my goodness, you don't know what you just did for me. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. They went through some of the things that I needed to do in order to get my identification and registration and to go down these steps. It was funny because they could tell that if something wasn't in my environment, as far as identity and paperwork and all of these types of things, they weren't something that I would take care of right away. And for me, the identification process was also very synchronistic in the alignment. I just had an astrology reading and they told me I made a huge shift, and in that shift it would be my new identity for the next 30 years. And I didn't think about the fact that my identity was also in my identification card and that it would come to an expiration. My expiration of my old self had finished, and that I was going to need a new way to represent myself, even including my identification at the grocery store or whatever. And so it was very synchronistic, and I just felt, okay, this is also another sign that I'm on the right path, that I'm doing what I need to be doing, and that I have had this shift of identity so far so that I have to get a new ID to show the world who I am now. And this is part of it all starting with us. I've been driving around since September without anyone pulling me over to tell me that I needed to update in the government system. So I explained that to him. I said, I'm going to be really honest, I didn't know that they expired. I know that the registration on my car expires, but I thought it was January related to my car. And then honestly, I just lost track of all of these things. He's like, I understand. He said, these are the things that you're going to need, and what's your address? And I told him where I was staying, and he said, that's not the address that I have. You need to update that. I just put in my 30 days where I'm at, and I don't have this next transition yet. Can you help me with that? And he was like, yes, this is what you need to do. This is how long it will hold for. This is what you'll do during that process. This reminded me of this masculine energy where I was calling in this kind support. I didn't have the space anymore for a masculine energy that was the punishing type, where it's like you have done something and just this non-compassionate feeling that came from the masculine energy. I grew up with a dad who was so scary. He was 6'2" or 3 and 100 pounds, huge man, and very much so the supporter, the very, very grounded masculine, and in that way. The other is like, you know, I grew up with her, but my dad was somebody who, like, that stern, if you did something wrong, you knew that you did something wrong. He was just large. That's just the nature of his being. When he pulled me over, he reminded me of a mix of my older brother and my dad. That's really the leveling off of seeing this father energy, but also seeing the non-hierarchical kind of masculine energy that has come in to support. He had an understanding of, okay, what are you gonna do? He would ask me, okay, what are you gonna do? And you're gonna take this piece of paper and you're gonna put it exactly where you can see it. In the morning when you wake up, you're gonna go to this address. Just very kind to me. A lot of people think about police and they think about people who are there they have it out for them and all these things. I feel very safe and supported through the police system that exists, and that is what is reflected to me. This energy of the masculine is safe and supportive. He's just there to provide me the tools to go about this actionable way to do the things that I need in order to represent myself. It was really beautiful because I sat there and cried after he left. He said, okay, I'm going to drive away before you so that you know it is on documentation that you are driving on an expired license. You need to call somebody to come and pick you up. And then he was like, but I'm gonna drive away before you. And like, even that type of, I got it, he trusted, I got it, but giving me the opportunity to, but this is the consequences, you know? So that really felt just so supportive. I called my mom and I was like, how did I not know this? It's bringing my attention to them in a way where I'm going through the system of what are some other things that paperwork wise or actionable ways in which I need to balance my own masculine energy in order to have this supported feeling where I'm safe to also be myself and say, this isn't something that I'm the best at. This has come up for me quite a few times. They leak through and I'm not paying attention to them. If I don't take action, then they just fall to the wayside. My mom was like, how did you not know that? Meanwhile, I'm crying and I can't believe that I didn't know this. And she's like, how come you didn't know? I was like, I'm gonna get off the phone because I just need to cry and just feel this, and also feel really grateful for this ability of this being to provide me the tools in a way where he understood and not be so harsh with me. And so I woke up this morning and my roommate was saying, you need to really get to the DMV. There's going to be long lines. It takes a long time. And I really had other things that I wanted to do. I was finishing a video, finishing editing some content. I'm learning a new program and it's been very hard. I'm getting better every day, but it takes a lot of time. I was like, no, I'm gonna do this thing that I knew. It's Tuesday. I'm gonna do this Tuesday creation and this is what I'm called to do. And so I finished that in my mind. I was like, I don't believe that it's gonna be a long line at the DMV. I think that everyone is there to support me and to help me and that it's gonna be great. So I pull into the DMV and the person coming out the door was like, how you doing this morning, honey? And I was like, I'm doing great, how are you? And I was like, wow, this is going fantastic. So I go up to the desk and the woman's so kind to me. She's got a security guard behind her and there's all these lines, probably like 32 lanes, and there was nobody in the DMV. They gave me my number and before I could sit down, it was already being called so I could just go right up to the window. And the woman was so friendly to me, so nice. And I was like, what are some other things that my brothers would be really good at that I'm not the greatest at, that I have been overlooking, that I need to finish, that I need to clear up for myself. I feel very supported in this energy. And so I thought, okay, my car needs fixed. The intake tube needs replaced. And I've been calling people about, I have a warranty and to get it fixed in, using the warranty. And not a lot of shops were wanting to do that. And so I knew what the problem was. I just needed somebody to give me some further information on maybe how to take it apart and how to replace it myself. So I went to the auto store, this place, and I asked the man if he would come outside and look at it with me and show me how to do it and then give me some advice on the parts. And so he did. He was very loving and kind. And I think that really is this space that I'm in where I know that I can do things on my own. I also know that there are some things that I am not generally great at. They are things that instead of judging myself, it's just my brain power goes towards the other things. Meanwhile, I'm getting all these intuitive downloads of what my car means and what the different parts are. And my energy is going towards this feminine creativity, flow, intuition, and healing. And what does my car mean? And what does that intake to mean? I don't think about the mechanics of how to put it together. I just think about its projection of the ego and how that plays out in the world, and how these are all aligning with me needing to fix my car and also get a new identification card because I was representing a brand new identity that was fully integrated. This aligned with my path of getting a new card. The man was so kind to me. I was like, okay, I can do this. I am going to continue to call around places and let them know. So I call around a place and they have me scheduled for Monday to fix this using the warranty. This really all comes down to what we believe to be true, the thoughts that are going on a consistent basis, the ones that we give the most attention to, how we feel about them. I have known that there is a shift in the masculine energy in my life, and it has been reflected to me in the men that are in my life. One of my really close friends is such a kind human being and is also very masculine in his energy. And when I feel safe and supported around that, I'm able to really go very in depth with what my knowing is and what my gifts are, which are very feminine. This has been the balancing of this energy. I see it playing out in my environment and how I see it reflected to me. Even this space of someone who's keeping me safe is still there to be kind to me and to see that these just aren't things that I'm great at, but that it's calling my awareness to the way I can empower myself to pay attention to some of these things so that I can continue to grow in a way that's more grounded in my own masculine and feminine embodiment and where I'm at on that scale. So I wanted to share this story for multiple reasons. One is the synchronistic timing of getting a new identification card. I really felt like that was the universe telling me, this is a new person, you need to represent yourself in a different way, or that I was representing myself in a different way for an extended period of time. That shifted the universe to say, yeah, now you need to get this new card because we see you differently now. As well as the fact that this person who pulled me over, I had just affirmed to the universe my belief of I don't need saved, I just want to be supported, have a safe network of support. I share this with all of you because whatever you believe about yourself, these things, they become true and they're being reflected to you. So the more that you can be in tune with what it is that you believe and things that feel out of alignment, question those in order to have the reality that you do want, like in my reality where the DMV takes 5 minutes and everyone's kind to me and I don't even have to sit down. That's what I wanted to happen, and so that is what happened. We have this ability to shift our mindset and have that be reflected in the you inverse, which is just you inverse. This is why I'm having a particular experience and then people across the world are having particular experiences. I wouldn't even know what that looks like because that's their embodiment of who they are being reflected to them. So I hope this empowers you today to question some of the things that may be not in your alignment. Also understand that things are being called to you for your attention and for you to address